Why is my screen not working? There we go. Sorry, guys. Give me a second here. Oh my God, I got 20 freaking screens.
Give me a second here.
Oh my God, I got 20 freaking screens. Give me a second. There we go. There we go. There we go. Sorry for the delay, guys. You know me. I ain't never got my stuff together right off the bat. So let me get the live stream going. See who we got here. I usually don't do shows at this time of the day, but hey, I was awake. It's time to roll. It is 4:43 in the morning here. You guys, all right. You guys give me a sound check. Everything's good out there. All is good in Cowboy land. Let me scoot over a little bit here. Um, what's up, guys? How we doing? Welcome to the show. Wanted to do a live stream. Went over a video yesterday. I kind of went over the situation there with the conference that they had, the draft conference there with, of course, the coach Jason Garrett, as well as. Okay, thank you. Oh, I got two people watching, and one is Cowgirl Crunk. So we got Cowgirl Crunk in the house, and one more person. Hey, I appreciate you guys joining. But I wanted to go over the conference, the draft conference that we had yesterday, to include Jason Garrett, the Joneses, and Gail Brandt, which was Gil Brandt, excuse me, which was kind of unique, kind of a unique situation there to have Gil Brandt in there. It's an older fella, but the guy had some stories. You know, I always respect. What's up, Ray Ray? How you doing? Always respect our elders, especially our Cowboy elders. The guy put in his time and knows a lot about the history of the Cowboys. So that was really cool to see. There was some things that kind of came out of that, and I mentioned it in my last video, and I got a few comments on it, as well as I got a lot of comments on my idea of how we should do Dak Prescott's contract. So I don't know if you guys have any ideas on that. If you guys want to throw those out there, my thing with Dak is I think we should go with a longer deal. I don't think 5 or 6 years covers what we need to stretch that money out and use it properly. So to me, you go with a longer deal. You I didn't want to do it early. The main reason, the fact is, this year we're only paying him, 680,000. So why get in a rush? Why bump the contract up? Why do it this year when you could pay him 680,000 this year? That's money on the table that you could use in other situations this year. But if you decided you wanted to go out and stretch out there and do it this year, you're giving an advantage to Dak. And what that would do, that would allow you to pay him some this year, and you could tell him, hey, we're doing the contract early because if that 680,000 this year, we're gonna give you 28 mil this year. You do a $28 million contract, just throwing numbers out there. You go ahead and get his contract done this year, and you give him that money, and you inform him, hey, we're doing it early because we're stretching that. You take that 2 or 3 million, and you roll it back into 2019. Kind of gives you a better deal versus having to next year, let's say, go 30 million or even more if the market continues to decline. So that's just my idea on it. I'm not sure, an 8 year, even a 10-year deal. Donovan McNabb did a 12-year deal, and you look back and see what Philly did after they got him established on that 12-year deal, and Philly was a terror during the time. We all remember how many times, Donovan McNabb put the team on his back, and and took them places they probably wouldn't have been. They had a very good, solid roster back then, and so just something to think about, guys. I know we got to get Ezekiel Elliott signed and all those things. Another thing that I took out from the conference that they had, Guys, I've been stuck on 58, going 58, going 58 with safety. But after looking at it, there's if there's a defensive tackle there, if there's an outstanding running back, and I know that that sounds ridiculous, I'm against it, but there's not too many positions we need. If there is a great cornerback, or if there's a great running back there at 58, we could make a move. And the reason I say that is if you look at the safeties that are going to be there at 90, the safeties that are going to be there at 90 are the larger safeties, the bigger safeties, the 6'2", 6'1" safeties, which is typically what Chris Richard likes. I actually went back and checked on the Legion of Boom. As you guys know, Chris Richard was the mindset behind this, the Legion of Doom. He put that together, or coached those guys into those positions. And Earl Thomas was a 14th pick overall, first round 14th pick. Cam Chancellor was a 133rd pick in the draft. Richard Sherman, he was a 5th round pick. So Richard Sherman came out of the 5th round, and you talk about interceptions. He was the ball hawk. He was the one that came, that really started the cornerstone of the Legion of Boom. Him, Cam Chancellor, and Earl Thomas, and Brandon Browner. He actually came from the CFL. So these Legion of Boom guys weren't top tier draft pick guys. They weren't guys that, other than Earl Thomas, they weren't guys that they spent a lot of draft capital on. So this is what Chris Richard's able to do. If we could get a safety even at 90, guys, we're looking at Chris Richard being able to turn this guy into something special, definitely. And that's why I say, if we need to go something else at 58, if there's something there, if there's a player that falls, if there's a defensive tackle that just happens to be there that the Cowboys like, you're looking at. And the two safeties I was looking at 90 were Mike Bell from Fresno State, who's 6'2", 210. He's the biggest safety in the first 2 rounds. He's by far the biggest most physical safety. The guy would be, I think, a very good strong safety. He's not great in coverage. He's not one of those guys, which means we would need Xavier Woods to really work on that. I think it's something Chris Richard could coach Xavier Woods into, the free safety position, and get him covering a little better. But as far as big time, heavy hitting safeties, Mike Bell will definitely be there at 90. Should be. He's projected to go around 90 to 100. And out of Fresno State. Hey, what's up, JJ Dancer? How you doing? Let me get some chats in real quick, and then I'll go over the second safety that I'm looking at 90 if we do decide to do something different at 58. Now, I've been sold on 100% locked on safety at 58. But after watching the conference yesterday, and two things that were said made me think maybe they don't go safety at 58. And that's one thing that Gil Brandt said. Gil Brandt mentioned from 17 to 70. There's so many players that are going to be flexible. Could be first round, could be late second round. Some guys that are going to go around 17 or 18 could go at 70. And then he mentioned how deep the safety pool was. So the Cowboys definitely, with him mentioning that, the Cowboys definitely are looking at what are the possibilities of stretching the safety out to 90 and grabbing another important piece at 58. Something that, like an outstanding, and we could get an outstanding backup for Ezekiel Elliott. We could put a change of pace guy in there at 58 that would completely change our offense versus what's up, X Factor? Hey, let me go over the chat box real quick. I started doing that. Sam Rothstein in the house. Crunk, I think Dallas be crazy to pass on Louisiana Tech pass rusher at 58 if he's gonna take your safety. But I'm taking best player. Yeah, Sam, that's kind of what I'm saying, and that's one of the guys I know that they've kind of looked at. our defensive line, I don't know if at 58 there's a guy there that would come in and start immediately, especially on the edge over DeMarcus Lawrence. Taco is there. I think this is Taco's breakout year. I think he's going to play well. Connor Williams, I think this is his year. This is their third year. It usually takes a year or two for these guys to roll in. It's going to take a little bit for Taco to get his feet under him. It's a man position. You got to have strength. And that was Connor Williams' downfall last year. I think he just was a little weak. He didn't have the strength yet. Apparently, he's put on 10 pounds of good. If you've put on 10 pounds of good, of solid weight, that usually means with weight transition, you probably put on about 20 pounds of muscle, but and lost 10 pounds of fat. So you probably put on about 20 pounds of muscle versus just 10, because there's a transition there. So I'm hoping that Taco's going to be there this year. He's going to be, a better player. And Connor Williams, I think that's two guys that could really help us out a lot. Okay, let me check my email, guys. I got an email coming in concerning my interview. Let's see, just real quick. Received but did not receive your previous email. I got this email. Thank you for confirmation today. Okay, cool. I got confirmation on my interview, so that will be on the 22nd at 4 a.m. For Guam. So I got another interview, guys, that wasn't lined up before. I know I've kind of shared my interviews with you guys a little bit, but I'm trying to get out of Afghanistan. I've got a few interviews, a couple in Houston and some other places, and also in Hawaii and Guam. So anyways, as I was discussing, let me see. I feel strong. Dallas taking pass rusher at 58. I don't know. I think we're good on the edge. I would love to see us take a defensive tackle, but like you're saying, best player available. I think at 90 they could stretch down and still get. I think they could get a safety that Chris Richard might like better at 90. Mike Bell is physical, man. You guys got to look him up. Mike Bell from Fresno State, and I'm still really stuck at 58 taking a safety. That's what I think we should do. But if something else happens, I'm not gonna, like I did last year. I had a fit when they picked LVE. We were all wanting a defensive tackle then. We were looking at Vita Vey. We were looking at safety at 58 last year because the Earl Thomas thing wasn't working out. No, not at 58. Excuse me. Last year we were at 19, and we got when we got LVE. Dude, everybody went ballistic. Everybody was pissed off. Nobody liked the pick. So I'm not going to do that this year because Cowboys did a good job last year. They got LVE at 19 and it worked out for us. So I'm stuck right now as it goes for now. Looking at safety at 58. But if it doesn't happen, if we go defensive tackle, if we happen to get an edge rusher, if we go running back, I'm not extremely pissed off if we go running back, if we get the right running back, and this guy can not only come in, and this is going to sound really bad, not only come in and relieve Ezekiel Elliott and extend his career. If we could have two great running backs, guys, we got to have Ezekiel Elliott. If we could get a running back similar to him, not at that level. I know we won't get one at that level at 58, or even this year. There's not even one in the draft this year. But if we could get a running back that could come in and produce similar to Ezekiel Elliott and reduce his snaps to 20 a game and get this guy about 10 to 15 snaps a game, man, I think that really could change our outcome. And then at 90. You've still got those guys there. You've got Mike Hall at 90 that would be an outstanding safety. It looks like he's the biggest safety in the draft. That look in the early rounds. 6'2", 210. That is exactly Richard Sherman type numbers. Richard Sherman taken in the 5th round, guys. Chris Richard took Richard Sherman in the 5th round. 6'3", 210. And he's the one that led the Seahawks in interceptions. He's the one that was their playmaker. He was their lockdown corner. And I think Chris Richard, I think he would rather have a corner in the 3rd round that's 6'2", 6'3", a big ass safety, or that he could use like he's using Richard Sherman or Cam Chancellor. Cam Chancellor was 133rd pick in the draft, 133. So, if we don't go safety at 58, I'm not going to be upset because I think Chris Richard has the ability to take a guy at 90 that's going to be 6'2". There are no guys in the top 50 that we're going to get at 58 that what am I trying to say? There's no guys around the 58 range that have that size. They're all 5'11. They're all 5'10. Thornhill is 6 foot, so he's your biggest safety out of the safeties. The Virginia safety, yeah, that's the one I'm talking about. I like him too. He won't be there at 90 though. That's a guarantee. But you're looking at the other one was Deontay Thompson. Deontay Thompson is another safety. He's 6'1". He was expected to be a first round draft pick, really expected to be a first rounder, and he had some issues towards the end of the season where he didn't produce. He got burnt a couple times and some other things. So, yeah, Rod Smith is most likely not going to be re-signed. I know he's shopping the market. What's up? What's up, Big Dan Blatt? Big Splat Blatt? How you doing, brother? I always get your name crossed up there for the first time. D-line pressure makes it easier for the secondary. Yes, sir. JP, I agree. I'm hoping, I'm hoping safety at 58, but if they go something else, I'm just looking at options. I know we're going to get a safety. That's really obvious. And from the 30 visits, it looks like we're definitely going safety at 58 because all of the safeties they brought in, the five safeties on the 30 visits were all projected to go late first round, early second, maybe into the third, just depending on which order they're selected in because, they're all projected to go around the same time, but that's not possible. Turkey hunting, laying down some. Okay, I guess you're turkey hunting, and it's 5 a.m. here, and I'm doing a live stream. That's funny. JP, you'd like a defensive tackle more than safety. I would too, actually, if there's going to be one there. And the reason I say that, there's not as many defensive tackles out there on the board like there are safeties. So we could get a pretty good defensive tackle at 90, or excuse me, we could get a pretty good defensive tackle at 58 and still at 90 have a solid safety at 90. And like I said, the safeties that are going to fall in the 90 range, it just so happens those are the bigger safeties. You got 6'2", 6'1", you got a couple 6-footers there, and most of the safeties that are projected to go around 58 are all 5'11". Jonathan Abram, 5'11". Savage, 5'11". Thornhill is 6 foot. That's the guy I think they'll probably go with. Rapp, 5'11". Now, Rapp and the guy I was talking about, Mike Bell from Fresno State, those guys are really similar. The only difference is Mike Bell is 6'2", 210 pounds, whereas Rapp is 5'11", I think 205. So they're in the same ballpark as weight, but you guys know they even said it in the draft conference. We're going to go with what Chris Richard wants. We really respect his opinion. He likes those long guys. He likes the length. And if you look for length, if you're looking for length at safety, the only ones that are there are Mike Bell and Deontay Thompson at 6'1" and 6'2". So the other guys at 5'11", those typically aren't the type guys I think Chris Richard would be looking at for a box/free safety that could do both, which I think is also what the Cowboys are looking for because they mentioned flexibility a couple times in that meeting too. Crunk, what about Deontay Jackson? Has a great preseason every year, but doesn't play. Yeah, man. Sorry, my this computer's a little far away. Yeah, I also, thought about Bo Scarborough. What about Bo Scarborough? I also thought about what about Mark Sanchez, bringing Mark Sanchez back as a backup quarterback. And the only reason I mentioned that is Dak Prescott played so well with Mark Sanchez, in his ear all year there when it was Mark Sanchez, Tony Romo, and Dak Prescott. So, there's some guys out there that maybe after the draft is over, they reach out and look at a couple guys. I don't even know what Mark Sanchez is doing right now. I have no clue if he's on a roster. I don't know. And I know everybody's like, oh my God, Mark Sanchez. I wouldn't put him on the field. I would kind of use him as a backup. If a lot of people aren't happy with Cooper Rush and Mike White, but if you had a Mark Sanchez there as a backup quarterback and kind of a second quarterback coach, there with Kitna, I think those two guys could work Dak Prescott, get him in the flow there with Kellen Moore, and Kellen Moore's going to expand this playbook, as we all know that it's going to expand. They wouldn't have made that move. The whole Cowboy management was expecting that change. So that's where I stand on the draft situation. If we don't go, if we don't go safety at 58, I'm not gonna like start throwing eggs at the TV screen or anything like that, or slamming things around, unless. Well, I'm not going to do it at all, because that's what I did last year. We all were pretty upset with the Leighton Vander Esch pick, and it seemed to work out for the Cowboys very well. So, Crunk, what about? Okay, I already got that one. Also, by the way, guys, I think the channel is monetized now. It looks like everything is rolling good. I As you guys know, all of the proceeds from my channel will go to Dak Prescott's Cancer Foundation. So when I get that check every month or whatever it is, I don't even know how that goes yet. I talked to Mark Holmes, and he kind of gave me a short briefing on it. I guess they do direct deposit. So I set up my direct deposit. I'll share that with you guys every month. I'll show you the direct deposit, and everything from this channel will go to Dak Prescott's Foundation. So that includes the super chats and all that, which yeah, and hit the like button, guys. It does help me. It does help a lot with the proceeds that YouTube has to pay. So if we can get YouTube to pay, the like button's not for me. It pushes the video up. It puts money in this account, and this money, I will read out the super chats, and I'll share that every month with you guys also. I will share, what went to Dak Prescott's Cancer Foundation, and that comes from just the views. That comes from me doing videos and you guys watching the videos. Here we let's see, Zachary, what's up, brother? How you been, man? You watch Crunk Cowboys gonna draft a running back at 58, and the Cowboys section gonna be empty with the third round. Hey, I don't know, man. If they draft a running back, like I said, if they get the right one, I would not be upset if they get a running back that comes in and can put some fear. You've got to have a running back. If you take Ezekiel Elliott out of there, this is my thought. If you take the Ezekiel Elliott out of there, you've got to have a running back there that puts some fear in the defense. So that's why I really like Jalen Hurd. I know he's not a running back anymore. He's a wide receiver. The Cowboys did bring him in on a 30 visit there at the end, and I'm content with that too. If they go, I would actually be. He's definitely going to be a running back slash wide receiver that'll be there should be there at 90. So if the Cowboys go safety at 58, and then go. Jalen Hurd at 90, that I'd be happy with that. I want Rap, but we take, yeah, I'd like to have either one of those guys, truthfully, Rap or Thornhill. If both of those guys are there, hey, we got our choice. What's up, Raymond? How you doing, man? Welcome to the channel, guys. Like my man Dan said, please hit the like button. All of the money from this channel does go to Dak Prescott's Foundation. So any likes we get, it helps the views. It helps the views. Whatever views I get, that helps the money, and I'll share that with you guys every month. So if we go something else at 90, if we go running back, if we go wide receiver, if they go Deebo Samuel, if they go with one of the running backs that could be there, the guy from Alabama. The guy from Memphis, some of those guys I don't think will be there at 90. So I'm good. I'm really good if they go with something else, because at 90, that's where you're going to get your safety. That's where the safeties are sitting that are the 6'1", 6'2" safeties that I think Chris Richard, he might rather have Mike Bell than Taylor Rapp, just because of the size. He's a bigger safety. He might rather have Deontay Thompson, even though the production fell off at the end of the year. He might rather have him at 6'1" rather than Savage at 5'8" or Abram at 5'11". Not 5'8", excuse me. They're both 5'11". I don't know why I said 5'8". I'm not even 5'8". Goddamn. But you're looking at Mike Bell, 6'2", 210 pounds. You're looking at Deontay Thompson, 6'1", 210 pounds. Also, both of those guys could be there at 90. Maybe we go Thornhill and maybe Damian Harris falls to, yeah, that's a good scenario, Zachary. That's one that's a possibility. I would like that as well. I think we got to get a running back in, and I wasn't stuck on that so much earlier. I was stuck on Jalen Hurd, which I would like for us to get him. He's not going to be there at 126. I don't see that. I think a lot of people have him graded late second round, mid second round, and then there's some people that have him graded in the fourth round. So he's one of those guys. I've done a lot of videos on Jalen Hurd. He's one of those guys. There's 32 teams, and it only takes one GM or one, vice president of operations or one owner to fall in love with a guy like that. And out of 32 teams, somebody's going to like Jalen Hurd, and I think he'll go late second round, mid second round. I think he'll not mid to late second round, early third round. Excuse me. He'll go between 70 and 100. I think that's where Jalen Hurd will fall. Hey, Crunk, how do you feel about moving down to take 40s or 50s to get the safety that we really want? Yeah, Raymond, truthfully, I didn't think about it much, but if the Cowboys, if Taylor Rapp is sitting there and maybe the thing is, if a couple other safeties come off the board, let's say Abram is off the board, let's say Thornhill is off the board, and Gardner are off the board, and we're sitting at, they're at 50 already, and those three guys are off the board. If those three guys are off the board, and Adderley will definitely be off the board by then. Let's say Adderley's off the board, Abrams off the board, and Savage is off. Not Savage. Savage should be there at 58, and Thornhill is off the board, and Rapp is sitting there at 50. The Cowboys definitely, if they've got 4 or 5 safeties they have in mind, if 4 of those safeties are off the board at 50, they could try to move up. I wouldn't doubt that, but it's going to depend on, how many of the safeties are sitting there. If they get to 50, and let's say only 2 safeties have been picked, let's say Adderley and Abram are off the board, and Savage, Thornhill, and Rapp and Gardner are all sitting there at 58. I mean, sitting there at the 50 pick, and we're sitting at 58. Yeah, I don't see them moving up. But it just depends on how many safeties are taken in the first round or taken in the first 50. If there's availability, if it looks like there's going to be availability at 58, I think that they'll hold their cards and not play that. So, El Cool, what's up? Crunk, have a lot of respect for you. Think you're a good man, not pompish like. Oh, come on, man. Mark's a good guy. He gets upset if somebody says negative things about him. I do too, actually. I don't like when somebody dislikes me. So he may be, and he gets busy, bro. Me and Mark have a really good relationship, but like at times I feel like he cuts me off and leaves, but it's because he's busy, man. He's a busy dude. So your opinion, I respect it, bro. But I promise you, give Mark a chance, man. He's an all right guy. But I understand what you're saying. I've had a few times where I actually didn't feel like, Mark was like, man, Mark don't Mark has a problem with me or something. But no, it's just he's busy, dude. That dude stays flying the fuck around busy. He's all right. Love those 2 guys. I would, yeah. Ferguson at 90 as well. Haley, hey, what's up, Haley? Hey, hadn't seen you in a while. How you doing, bro? I think he fits Richard's scheme. Yeah, there's a few guys I'm looking out there, and that's why I mentioned the safety possibly at 90. If we go another direction, man, Mark is that uncle that gives you wisdom. Mark's that uncle. Hey, he's that uncle that cooks for you. I know that. Dude likes to get in the kitchen and cut it up. But yeah, it's the War Daddy. How you doing, Landon? Thank you, man. Landon Savage in the house. What's up, brother? Um, but no, there's a there are some good safeties out there at 90, and seriously, guys, the safeties at 90 look like they might fit Chris Richard's build a little better. The safeties that are going to fall at 90 are just a little bigger. They're more physical safeties at 90. Mike Bell and Deontay Thompson are a couple physical safeties that are going to be there possibly at 90. So if we do something else at 58, I'm okay with it. Okay, change the subject. Let's go Dak Prescott's contract. I don't know if we should do anything this year or not. I don't know if we should continue. He's only making 680,000 this year. Do we stay with that, or do we try to do something now? I know everybody. That's kind of the big talk. The Russell Wilson contract. He's not going to get Russell Wilson money. I don't think he's expecting that. I hope he's not expecting that. Uh, Damian Harris at 58. I wouldn't be mad because the safety they're going to get at 90, I think, will be solid. I don't know why. If my screen is changing colors, I'm not sure why it's doing that. It might be because of the TV in the background, and I've got it so close to the tube. But for me, with Dak in this contract, yeah, we can't get away from it, like you're saying. We just need to try to minimize the pain. And when I say pain, I only say that because I want to continue to pay other players. I'm thinking, I'm thinking around 28, 29. That could push it to 30. If we could do 20, and that's why I was saying, guys, to me, I want to go long. I want to go 8-year contract. Not something like Donovan McNabb. I don't know if you guys recall. Donovan McNabb did a 12-year deal with Philly, and it locked him down in Philly. Now they were able to trade him later. They did trade him towards the end of that contract. And the good thing about that is they were able to trade him because his salary was still relatively low at the end of the contract. Now, at the beginning of the contract, when he got it, it was the highest paid contract in NFL history at the time when McNabb got that. So at the beginning of his contract, per year it was heavy. But as a cap grows, the salary cap, as the salary cap grows, you kind of his salary gets put in the shadows because if it goes up 10 years, if it goes up 10 million, it actually goes up 10.8 on average every year for the last 4 years. If it goes up 10.8 million a year, after 3 years, Dak Prescott's salary has been swallowed up by the salary cap. So you would like to use that on some other players as well, but 10.8 a year in 3 years, Dak Prescott's he's free. So you do an 8-year deal, you get him at 28, 29, maybe 30 million. The last 5 years, he's free. The salary cap has covered his contract. So let me look in here real quick. Not 35, but mid high 20s. Pay him now, or he will be expecting Wilson money. And that's another thing, Skeet. I agree with you. Uh, I didn't want to pay him before because I thought about it. Why would you pay him now when you could keep him at 680,000? But if you sit down with and agree with him, hey, we're gonna do your contract early instead of doing your contract next year, which we could pay you 680,000. That's an outstanding bargain. Why would you go away from that? If you had an employee that you were paying, why would you just give them a 3,000% increase? 3,000%. Yeah, this is more than 3,000%. This is like close to 4,000%. You're talking about if you go to 28 million, that's a huge pay raise just in the first year. But you can tell him we're going to do it early, so you're getting that 28 million now, and you can kind of pretend to spread that out over the next years because you're giving him a good deal this year. You're doing it early for him. Say, hey, instead of taking 30 mil, take 27 million, but we'll do it this year instead of making you wait till next year. I don't know if that makes sense. That's something I thought about, and I know we don't have that money sitting there now, but if you do it like you did the DeMarcus Lawrence deal, and you push some of that down the next couple years, that would cause some problems the next couple years because we got DeMarcus Lawrence with that money rolled out like that too. So let's see where we at. Much love to Mark and Crunk for doing this. I'm in Phoenix. Hey, man, thank you very much, bro. I appreciate it. It keeps me busy. Gives me something to do over here as well with my work, and it keeps us busy from preseason. Man, football used to end before the internet was around. Football used to end in February, and we didn't hear much about football until shit, until until August. It was like from February to August, there was nothing. So at least now we've got the internet. We can share this stuff with each other. Landon, I don't know if that's a question or a statement, but yeah, they did a 12-year deal with Donovan McNabb, and it made him the highest paid player. But within 3 years, there was multiple guys making more than him, and he still had 9 years left on his contract. So that's what I think we should do with Dak. I think he's a solid player. I think he's not going to get injured. He's going to be on the field. As you guys know, he's only been injured once, and he only missed about well, he was supposed to miss a series, but that was the game against Washington that what's his name, Ryan Switzer. He ran the kickoff back, so Cooper Rush didn't even get to come in. If you remember, he had his hand pinned against his chest with the helmet. The helmet hit his hand, and went in and got some X-rays. And the Cowboys didn't get the ball again that half because Ryan Switzer ran it back for a touchdown. So the defense spent the last 8 minutes on the field, and Cooper Rush never got to come out. So LL Dallas has to has Zig win the other teams. Zag running back Harris. Hey, like I said, man, I wouldn't be upset if they got a running back at 58 if he really is going to come in and take some snaps away from Ezekiel Elliott, and we could get, keep Zach down to around 20, 22. We should not have Zeke carrying the ball 25, 28 times a game. I don't like it. And then the touches out of the backfield, especially. If you had a back that could come in and do 7 carries a game, but do 3 or 4 or 5 receptions out of the backfield and take that away from Ezekiel Elliott, that would really, really help us. What's up, man? How you doing, Cowboys family in the house? Much love to you, brother. It looks like you're probably going live too. I only have a few more minutes left, so if you're going live, let us know so everybody can jump over from my channel over to yours. Got mine rolling a little bit late, but it is 5:20 in the morning here, and I was just going over the draft selection. What are we gonna get? Okay, cool. So like 3 hours from now. What I was going over was if we don't take a safety and take a look at this, guys. If we don't take a safety at 58, there's a couple guys at 90 that really fit Chris Richard's build. It really fits his build, and that's Mike Bell from Fresno State, 6'2", 210 pounds, one of the bigger safeties, taller safeties in the draft, as well as Deontay Thompson, 6'1", 210. The guys that we're looking at 58, most of those guys are around 5'11", 5'10", 5'11", and Thornhill is 6 foot. So that's what the main part of my video was, and also going over the Dak Prescott contract. I think they're going to do a longer deal versus a 5-6 year deal. I think they're looking at stretching this out, especially if they do it early. If they do it early, they definitely got to do like an 8-year deal and stretch this out 28, 29 million a year, maybe 30 million a year. But over 30 years, or excuse me, over 8 years, you're going to get the return on that. I don't think Dak is one of those guys that's going to spend much time on the injured reserve. The only thing I worry about is like a possible concussion or the issues that any player could have with a hamstring or a muscle issue. But Dak hasn't had those kind of things. He's always been a solid quarterback. He's always been healthy. So hopefully we won't ever have to worry about those. So to me, like I said, if we end up going defensive tackle, if we grab one of those guys off the board at 58, if we grab a running back at 58, which I don't think is likely, but it would not bother me after thinking about it. And the only reason I say that is because I think at 90, there's a solid safety sitting there that Chris Richard might want more. He might want one of these guys at 90 more than the guys at 58, just because of the size. And they mentioned that, multiple times. We've heard that throughout history, the short history of Chris Richard. We have heard he likes a big safety, maybe a long-term deal, but I think we have team-friendly options after fourth year of Dak's contract. Yeah, so I don't like the short term. These four, if the thing is to me, if we do a 4 or 5 year deal and Dak balls out, or the team, does well, if we continue to win 11, 12 games for the next 4 years, now you're looking at paying Dak well over 35, because it's just too consistent. So that's why I would prefer to do a deal now. There's still questions about Dak that I don't have. I don't have those questions. I think his accuracy will get better. I think his pocket presence will get better. I think an issue with Dak is those two things, and that's it. His leadership, the team loves. There's not a guy on that roster that wouldn't love to be best friends, I think, with Dak Prescott. And I think him and Ezekiel Elliott have an outstanding foundation. So if we could bring in another running back and allow, cut Zeke's snaps down, by 20%, and get a solid back in there. To do that, guys, you've got to get a solid back. And 58, I think we could get a solid back. Is he there this year? I know that this year that the draft is not really, I have a lot of high quality backs. So it's a pick and choose game, guys. You got to go back and forth. So I appreciate you guys joining in. Like I said, the monetization of the channel is up and running, so I apologize for that, but I wasn't going to leave that money on the table. I'm looking at my account and I see that YouTube is allowing me to take that money if I want it, so I went ahead and monetized the channel. All of that money does go to Dak Prescott's foundation. My live stream I think the super chat is working now. I haven't had anyone hit on that yet. So if you're one of the people that does super chats, I will keep a list of the super chats and I'll read that out every month, and I will show you guys the contributions to Dak channel. Example, a 7-year deal and $30 million, but we have team friendly options to cut him with no big. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm good with that as well. I just want to do something long term, to get him on a contract, get him happy. I mean, he's been playing for $680,000. He's got guys that are sitting the bench. There's guys that don't even get. Oh my goodness! I got that's my first one. Hey man, that's cool as hell. I didn't know if it was working. I wasn't trying to. So, Chatatom, I hope I said it right. Now I feel bad. Chatatom123 with my first official super chat. Thank you very much, bro. I wasn't asking for that. I did want to see if it worked. Like I said, all this money goes to Dak's foundation, so I'll keep the names. I'll keep this. I got to write it down because I don't know how to look back at it. Yeah, that's cool. Like I said, this will go, and I'll call this out every month. I don't even know how the money comes in and none of that. Chatatom, Chatab123. My first super chat. I gotta take a picture of that, man, and I'll go through. I'll take a picture of that, and I'll definitely get it posted. But I appreciate it, guys. Thank you very much, Chatabomb. That's cool. Cowboys are stacked this year. Team full of studs, and you're one of the studs there, Chatatom. I appreciate it. That's cool. So to all you Cowboys fans, let's get this done. I leave in 4 days. I actually have the interview for Guam right before I get on the airplane. My interview is the 22nd of April at 4 a.m. here. I get on the airplane at around 8 a.m. So I'm at the airport, as you guys know. All I got to do is grab my suitcase, walk over, and check in. And I will be home on the 22nd that evening. My anniversary is the 23rd. So I probably will chill with Cowgirl Crunk and maybe do a live show or something on the 23rd. for our little anniversary thing there, so she can say hello to you guys. But I appreciate it, guys. Oh man, don't do this, man. Don't get started because now I just wanted to see if it worked. I'm about to log off. Now you make me want to. Usual Johnson, always in the house, man. That's really cool. Go Cowboys. But hey, if we don't go safety at 58, I really think that there's some safeties at 90 that Chris Richard will be happy with. So usual Johnson with the $2 super chat, $2 holla, like my Cowboy family says. That's cool. Um, and if we don't go safety 58, there's safeties at 90 that I think Chris Richard can. If you look at the old Legion of Boom, the old Legion of Boom is none of those guys were high draft picks except Earl Thomas. You're talking about Sherman Douglas, Sherman Richard. I always mess that up. Sherman Richard was a fifth round. Cam Chancellor was the 133rd pick. The other guy, what was his name? I wrote his name down. Byron Browner came from the CFL. So the Legion of Boom guys, none of those guys were high-end draft picks. None of those were high capital coming out of the draft, except for ET3, who was the 14th overall pick. So stick with it, guys. Let's trust our Cowboys. If they don't go, Antoine Myers, man, that's my boy. Hey, man, always here. Thank you very much, man. He's here all the time, too. A lot of knowledge from Antoine Myers. Me and him don't always agree. He's giving me some knowledge. When we don't agree, bro, I told you, I look your stuff up, as long as also Cowboy X Factor. I look you guys up and what the information you share with me. And you guys drop some knowledge, and most of the stuff is philosophy stuff. Who we're gonna pick here, or what guy's good there, or what guy might fit with the Cowboys. So I appreciate all that, guys. If you didn't check the chat box out from the start, do that, guys. Go back. Richard Sherman, yeah, 6'2", man, 6'2", 6'3", 210 pounds. We got him in the fifth round. And Chris Richard turned him into an intercept. Dude, I think he had more interceptions than his receivers had catches against him. The dude was nasty. Cam Chancellor, 133rd pick in the draft. So Chris Richard, I think he cares more about the height. I think he cares more about the size. So at 58, all of those guys are 5'11". They're all 5'11". So if we move down to 90, that means we have a pick at 58 we could really, really do something with, like running back. Shit, get a badass running back in there at 58, and we still got a safety that's 6'2" that Chris Richard could turn into a killer interception machine. So that's my deal, guys. I appreciate the super chats, man. That is so awesome. I will, like I said, I'll post it every month. I'll let you guys know. Keep doing your good things. Go to my Cowboys family channel. And check him out as well. He's doing a show at 11:45 his time, I think Eastern. So you guys check out his channel. I'm gonna get ready for work, get some bacon and eggs and coffee here. I appreciate you guys doing coffee with Crunk at 4 in the morning, 5:30 in the morning. I appreciate it, guys. Love, peace, and happiness. And let's get this draft. Hey, baby, 1 week to the draft. We'll be picking our first pick. 90, Damian Harris. Hey, I would be happy with that. We've had a couple guys that said that if we get another threat, in the backfield and we could take some pressure off Ezekiel Elliott, we've got Ezekiel Elliott for 7 years versus 5 more years. We keep his legs strong. We keep him battle worthy. We keep him prepared. We let the dude get his rest, and that's where we're at, guys. Hey, thank you very much again. Big time appreciate the super chats. Dak Prescott's Foundation will really like that. And I'll get the names, Antoine Myers, as well as Usual Jackson. Okay, I already got the other names. Antoine Myers. Appreciate it, man. I'll see you guys on the next one. And I'll see you guys in 4 days from Houston, Texas, the big Magnolia, Texas, the Woodlands.